Hi.
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends, once again, it's indeed time to get our talk on. It's Morning Talk with me, your host, J.C. McCauley, along with the champions of talk. And this morning's talk champion, of course, every Friday, she is here with us. None other than the one and only Cleo Duke-Wright. Good morning, Miss Cleo. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning to you, too. I don't know how come I'm so bright and so cheery this morning. I'm cheery this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Not to have gotten that much sleep, but I woke up. I said, oh, gosh, I have to get up. I showered, did everything I had to do. And I said, wow, I can't believe how nothing annoyed me this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good day. It was good morning. Good morning. Thank God for the moment.
All right. So good morning. Huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice Friday.
It's going to be a great day. It's bright and sunny out this morning. It's a little breezy out.
Yeah. It's a little breezy, but it's nice. It's not hot.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
I don't know what the temperature is supposed to be today, but whatever it is, I'm going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is.
Well, there we go. So you had a good week?
Yeah, I had a pretty good week. It was busy as usual, but I had a pretty good week.
All right. I think I got everything all set here. It's like some little feedback there. There, we're gonna change some stuff around. Yeah, I had a little technical problems this morning. I couldn't get the lower thirds to connect to the computer. I couldn't get the graphics.
Oh.
I couldn't get the computers to connect to the switcher so that I could control the graphics. But it was resolved.
Oh, of course. You always resolve
It was
the problem.
resolved, And the only thing I can think of is being on location somewhere and having that problem. This is something that plagues my mind always.
Having that particular problem, or having any problem on location?
That problem, but any problem, because you never know what could happen, and that's what it makes it so exciting.
Oh, yeah, hey, anything could happen. It's the same thing as when someone asks you to perform or go on stage or tell a story or something, and then you get there, nothing's there, nothing's set up, and the people's not there. You don't get to see the people before you. They just sort of push on there and say, go. It's only a story. Get up there and do that. You say, oh my goodness. So you just make do. You make do.
Now, of course, you are a storyteller. So what speaking of, things that could go wrong, or you've been thrust onto the scene all in a moment. So what is the worst thing that you remember about telling a story or public performance, and what was the best?
Well, what was the worst? Oh, the worst was when I planned to do this play day. I think this is one of the worst. I think I was working for, this is when I first began working for Mount Hollow. And I got everything set up and all the people, and I trained everybody to do what they were supposed to do. And two things happened. One, I got totally stage fright. Oh my goodness. And so if nothing was working out. The lady was really mad at me. And this is before I became a storyteller. So I told this story about, and I'm sure most of you know this story, I think of this name, about the teacher who, the kids had this substitute, and she was like a witch. They just wished their teacher back and wished their teacher back. It's a very popular story for kids. And she finally came back, and I was just telling the story. I was just telling it. I was to the kids, and so I went to get paid. The lady said she wasn't paying me. The lady said, "No, you can't get paid something. You didn't do the only thing right that happened." Now she made me the storyteller. The only thing that you did great was tell a story. I said, "Oh my goodness!" She was so unsatisfied. I couldn't take her money anyway because I was so upset that I had not done a very good job, and I went out there. I think I might have cried the rest of the day.
Oh, wow.
I cried and I cried, and I said, "What does she mean? The greatest thing I did was to tell a story." I told her, her teachers couldn't have told a story like that. I said, I couldn't believe it. So I said, I must be a storyteller. I'm going to tell some more stories. After I got over the drama of it.
Wow.
And I think that the best time, the best time I told a story was I always told a children's message at the beginning of church, and at this time I was working at Emmanuel Church on Woodland and Farmington Avenue, and they said, and I always wanted the children to sit in their seats, and they like the children to come up and get in like a little group, and I wanted them to sit by their parents, and I wanted to tell the story so they could say, "Well, what's the answer, Mommy? What's," kind of discuss it back and forth for a minute or two. And so they didn't agree with me. So when it was time to tell the story, I came down from the pulpit area. I came down, and I was so angry. I said, "I will never tell a story in this church. I'll never do this." It was all going through my head. And by the time I got down to where I was supposed to tell the story, the anger and everything just disappeared. It just like rolled up like a shade. It just was gone. And I'm standing there feeling empty. I'm feeling empty. So where'd it go? That's what I'm asking myself. Where'd it go? And the story came out so smoothly and so well. And then I asked the children a question. And this little boy looked up at his mommy, and they discussed. They said, "Mommy, what?" And then he blurted out the answer. And I said, "That's right. That's right." And I kept going on the story, and I ended the story. And my whole insides were just totally relaxed. And I had to say, it just came out of nowhere. I said, wow. It was like magic. And I always remember that moment, trying to orchestrate. And it taught me some lessons that, you don't go up telling a story, or everything is not always necessary with, anything. It was a wonderful feeling. And that's why it's the best that I've told, because that was like the best feeling I ever had telling a story.
I remember when we covered the, Connecticut Storytellers at Connecticut College.
Oh, that we went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it? What's it?
That was in New London.
It was in
Yeah.
What the organization?
The storytelling. It's Connecticut Storytellers.
Okay, yeah, with Connecticut Storytellers. That was actually quite fun. It was like a storytelling convention, and they had all kinds of storytelling. Everybody that was telling different stories.
It has changed so much, but if you can remember, I try to tell people about the differences in storytellers.
Yes.
But if you remember the differences in it, some storytellers were pure performers, and they might as well have been on a stage or Broadway, or they were precise, and I want this way, and I think they stood so. And then there were storytellers who just sat and told a story, and so there was. I try to explain that to some people, about the different kinds of storytellers. There's all kinds of different storytellers.
Yeah, now that you mention it, because it was this one guy, and he was like, it was almost like a play, because he was acting out everything, and it was very dramatic, and then some of them are kind of funny, so like a stand-up comic. But then there were the storytellers.
And then there were the storytellers. And so there's just, and then it's people who only tell stories about their family. That's the only kind of stories they tell, is about their family or a certain kind of a thing. That's all they tell. So storytellers fascinate me. Of course, I like the relaxed storyteller. This is not all right. You want to hear a story? Here it is. I like the simple storyteller, the porch kind of a storyteller, the Gwen Reed kind of a storyteller. So when people say, "Oh, that's," it's, people sometimes compare it to acting, and sometimes it is. It's really a performance where people have all kinds of props sometimes, and all this and all that, and I just like to let the imagination just flow.
Well, I would guess that, because when I think of storytelling, I think of folks gathering around in a kind of semicircle, and the storytellers like sitting there.
Yeah.
Whether the people gathered together are children or whether they're adults. But they're there to hear the story. And I guess with children, I think of the classic kids semicircle teacher. Adults, I see them kind of like in a living room. They're sitting on sofas with chairs, things like that, then there's the storyteller is either standing up or sitting at the head of the table or across the way and telling a story. So
all kinds of ways to tell stories, but what really gets me sometimes is that the adults bring the kids to oh, you're gonna tell my children stories? Oh, the children, and they come up with their children, they end up really engaging in stories themselves. And I don't want to tell them this is for everybody, not just for children. Story. Oh, or you get the people. I can't stand stories. I don't want nobody to tell me a story. I don't tell stories. I don't like stories. Blah 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 blah. Not realizing they tell stories all the time.
And they watch stories.
And they, so there's some people who have kind of not a negative feeling about storytellers, but they think they've outgrown storytelling, and nobody ever outgrows storytelling. So I enjoy that when I come into a mixed room. You get the little 3 or 4 year old, and you get the teenager type, and you get the adults and the grandparents, and they say they think that's so easy. All right, go and tell the story. But you really have to pay attention to every age group, every person in the room. You're looking at expressions, you're looking at body language. You're looking at the toddler. You're looking at everything when you start especially when you're in an open room and there's just a bunch of chairs sitting around and there's a free area to roam if you care to roam, while the storyteller is telling the story. So you have to grab them. And if you don't grab them at the beginning, you got to grab them in the middle or somewhere.
Well, everything, you stop thinking about it. Everything is a story. I mean, all of your movies, the news is a story. There may be little short stories about what happened.
Yeah.
Radio is telling you a story. If you listen to talk radio, people call up and talk about something, which is they're telling you a little story about something.
That's right.
Even on, like, at work, you write a report. It's a story about the data or whatever the case is. Yeah. But something that you said made me think about like your favorite story. Can you tell me the story about something? Because, like, I'll watch a movie and I'm like, this is one reason why I'm always so tired. Is I'm up late at night watching stupid Netflix or something on YouTube, and then I'm done. But I'll watch the same story. Like, let me watch that story again, because that was a good movie. But it's really, you want to hear the story again.
So it's stories. It's how many times do we tell the same stories to the kids? In grammar school, how many times did you hear the same story, but you loved them?
Mm-hmm.
So every time the teacher was going to tell that particular story that you loved, you were just so anxious to sit down. You knew the whole story yourself, but you just sat down and waited for that story because you loved the story so much.
Actually, yeah. I can remember the story being the reward for good behavior in school. Now, if everybody behaves, I'm going to tell you that story, and everybody sat and waited because she's going to tell the favorite story. So
but I don't think children.
I think it changes.
Hear enough stories to know that they love them. They don't hear enough stories. People don't tell them enough stories. Parents don't tell them enough stories, read enough stories, and that's really sad.
Well, I guess, your imagination is sparked when you hear a story.
Yes.
It really actually is sparked when you hear a story.
Right. That's why I don't use props. I don't use a lot of props.
Right.
I don't want you to see the face of the person I'm talking about or the animal that I'm talking about. I want you to see it in your mind, in your imagination, as you see it, not as I see it, but as you see it. So you're telling a story, and you tell it in a way so they see it. Yeah, like a little boy came up to me. He was this tall, and he says, "Yes, I'm gonna be the strong one, and I'm gonna knock him over the head." I said, "Oh my goodness, you're gonna knock him over the head?" Well, maybe I'll just. Well, maybe I won't knock him over the head, but I'll get him out of the way. I'll do this, and his head, their little bodies are so little, and when they do this, it's just, just so wonderful to see that he saw the story. He saw himself in the story, and he wanted me to know which character he was. And he said, "I'm this," and he just, that's the part I love. I love stuff like that.
Well, it really is. It really does spark imagination because as you mentioned, the individual hearing the story paints the picture in their mind.
Yes.
With a movie, you see everything. There's no imagination. Everyone in the movie theater sees the same thing at the same time. But if everyone's gathered around listening to the storyteller, they hear the same thing, but they see it differently. And they interpret it
differently.
They personalize it. So,
yes.
I think you're right. We, kids today don't hear enough
They don't hear
good
this.
stories. I think, kids being taught to tests or being taught, this, that they are being robbed of opportunities to imagine and to be and to express what they imagine.
After storytelling once, I got up and I was going out, and this little girl just came up, took my hand, and walked with me.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't open her mouth. She didn't say anything. She just walked with me, and I wonder what she saw in the stories that I didn't know which story that she liked, and she didn't say. She just got up and took my hand and walked with me. I said, wow, I wonder what's going in her mind. I was wondering what was going in her mind at that particular time. And she walked to me till I got to my destination. And I said, wow. Without not one word did she say. So I said, wow. What was that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, do you have a story?
Well, I was looking at stories this week. I don't have a story to tell. I just want to read this story.
Mm-hmm.
The Otter. You remember that story?
The Otter.
The Otter. Yeah. So I was reading, and I was smiling because I haven't read it in a long time, but I really like this story. Did you want me to read it now, or it's just a page?
Mm-hmm.
King Solomon and the Otter. I'm sure a lot of you remember that. You're going to remember it when I start reading it.
Okay. King Solomon and the Otter.
Pardon?
King Solomon and the Otter.
King Solomon and the Otter. This version it's a Hebrew folktale and words by Heather Foster. Oh, I'm sorry, Forrest. It is said that King Solomon was so wise he could speak and understand the language of all the animals. To set an example for people, he decreed there should be peace among the beasts. Peace among the beasts. Peace among the beasts. King Solomon decreed peace among the beasts. Death, death, death to the slaughter. Death to the slaughter, the otter cried. It's the fault of the weasel my children died. I came out of the water with their food. I brought them these little crabs. Oh, they love little crabs. And found that weasel had trampled my children dead on the ground. It broke the vow of peace, agreed among the beasts. Peace is dead, and death instead reigns without cease. I want justice. When the animals heard what the weasel had done to the otter's children, their outcry was immediate. Bring the weasel to the king, cried the other animals. O king, said the weasel, what the otter says is true, but my heart contained no malice when I did the thing I did. But my heart contained no malice. I heard the woodpecker drum a call to arms. I never meant to do the otter any harm. The drums, they thrilled me to the core, and I trampled her children as I marched to war. Then bring the woodpecker before me, said the king. O king, said the woodpecker, be not alarmed. I drummed the drum, but I meant no harm. I saw the scorpion sharpening her sting. It frightened me so that I let the drums ring. Then bring the scorpion before me, said the king. Into the throne room came Scorpion, holding her poisoned sting high above her head, and she said, "King, I made no offense. I sharpened my sting in my own defense. I saw the turtle climbing into her armor. I did the same, but I meant not to harm her." "O king," said the turtle, "my armor is strong. I climbed in for the safety, but I meant no wrong. I saw the crab was angry with angry claws. She was charging across the ocean floor." Into the throne room came the crab, with tears in her eyes and claws outstretched. She said, "Yes, I confess. Yes, I confess. It's true what she saw. With angry claws I did charge to war, but I saw the otter dive into my home and eat my children I'd left there alone." "Well," said King Solomon, turning once again to the otter, "Otter, you're the one who cried, 'Justice be done,' when, Otter, you're to blame. One who sows the seeds of death shall reap the same. Peace among the beasts."
Wow. That's a pretty neat story.
Yes. It's an old story.
I've never heard that before.
Oh, I heard that as a child.
I've never heard that before until just now.
Many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Maybe not quite, but on the same line. So you can put that in one of your political talks. That's what I was thinking.
Because it is. I'm thinking to myself,
put that in one of your political talks.
It is somewhat political, but I'm listening to, like, a lot of stuff happened because of miscommunication and
right,
and people didn't get the story right. And I thought when I saw the turtle getting into his arm, the turtles, it's like getting ready for war, but there is no war, It's
and they're mad. He's mad. Everybody's mad because something happened to them, but they didn't mean to hurt anybody. I mean, so I'm looking at what we're in today,
mm-hmm.
and I said, there are probably a lot more good-intentioned people than we think, causing a lot of harm.
Yeah.
Causing a lot of harm.
Yeah.
Because they think this is happening and that's it. And the only person who actually did anything of harm is the person who accused. The only person who did any real harm, who started this ball all rolling, was a person who hollered justice.
Well, that's quite profound because, it brings you to, the things that are going on right now in our country and, and around the world. And why it is so important to have, I guess, quote unquote, a justice system, like in this country, I guess other countries, but in this country, the quote unquote rule of law. And what you're just saying is the accused, you're innocent until proven guilty. So you start off as innocent, not as guilty. And if that's robbed from you, imagine if someone accused you and you're just like false even if the accusation may not be false, it may be that the person that saw something didn't see it from the right angle or the right perspective, and so you accuse someone, and now you start a whole domino effect of stuff that no one did anything wrong, but the accuser
is the one that is guilty of starting this. And if you have a system, the justice system, as you always say, we have a system of punishment. We don't have a King Solomon. We have so what we just read in the justice in it, and it came out that you found out what was really happening, and nobody was really trying to hurt anybody. And the Otter was just trying to feed his kids, so, but it all turned out to, hey, it could have been a big war if there wasn't a King Solomon. Okay. Where's our King Solomon?
Wise, impartial.
Right. All the animals were the animals. Whether they would have ordered the turtle or what, he was going to give justice to all of them. He said, well, bring him in. Let me hear him. Bring him in. It wasn't, oh, he's such and such, and had a attitude about an otter or the turtle or the scorpion. They were all the beasts, and they were all, so we're far from that. We're far from that,
to say the very least. Wow. This weekend they had an event. Well, not this weekend. Last weekend they had an event over at Camaros Cultural Corner, which is on Sterling Street. It's the first time I've ever been to this.
I've never heard of it.
It's
Sterling Street in Hartford?
75 Sterling Street in Hartford.
Where the Albany Avenue and Homeland State Avenue?
Yeah. And it's like a little cove, a carve out of like a little oasis in the middle of the city. And there's like this park. It's just something that she created.
It's a park?
It's not a park, but it's like a park. It's not like a park, but it's land. It's fenced off, but you go in there and there's like this. You're like in another, like you're transported into some like little island or something.
Whose idea was that?
Harrington.
Oh.
And they had an event where there were 10 women telling their story. And all of the women were Hartford women. And it was on the front page of the Current last Sunday. And so I called and asked if I could capture this. And it's about 50 minutes or so, just slightly under an hour. And you go watch it on accesstv.org, on W4 News, if you go to accesstv.org, or you go to accesstv.us, or you go just watch it, whatever you're watching us on right now, Facebook, whatever, Twitter, whatever, you could see it, so that's the whole thing. But I'm going to show you one segment of it, because we're talking about stories, and this was a story that I thought was kind of quite passionate. So I'm going to share this with you. You can watch the whole thing later, but check this story out. I thought this was a great story. All right, so don't go anywhere. This is our W4 News coverage of the event of the weekend. So here it is.
My name is Ashley Miklas Innocent. Negra, negra, negra soy. Hey, 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 hey. Ooh, ooh. Hey, 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 hey. Thank you.
Pretty powerful. And, just the different ways that you can tell a story.
Yeah. Well, I have to call her.
That was real. And there were 10 women from the diaspora, all telling different stories.
Oh, wow.
Telling their story.
Telling their story.
Right. Now, she used sound, no real word, but it's still you're still communicating a story. So there's so many different ways.
I'd love to see that area. Maybe I'll drive by.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see it from the street, or
you can semi-see it from the street because it's kind of fenced off.
Is it? What number is it?
75 Sterling Street.
75 Sterling. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's fenced off, but there's a gate. But if you go inside, you can see.
Is it open to the public? Could you go inside?
I think yes. It may be. I don't know what the hours are. Maybe we could have her on and talk about.
That's wonderful.
Her space. Maybe invite her on a Friday or something.
Yeah. That would be good.
And telling stories and things. But there were several that were really, 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 they were all good. But, I had to pick a couple. You see, this is where you get in trouble.
No.
Because, if I show them all, you could watch the whole thing. I really want to encourage you to watch the whole thing, but I can't,
Yeah, but, stories talk to people in different ways. So it's not like, dislike, or, you say this story spoke to me. Or this did this, or this did that. You don't. That's a great thing about stories.
I think this one
doesn't have to be the best. It's just the one that spoke to you. That's all.
Mm-hmm. This one was powerful as well. Let me play one more. I'll play one more. I believe this is one. Let's check this one out.
My name is Jocelyn Marie Cerda, y negra, negra, negra soy. Cinnamon cracks in the heat of the sun. Smells of Egyptian musk, visions of oro. Full lips kiss the cheek of ancestors. Pides la bendición, ask for a blessing. When you arrive and as you are leaving. Bendición. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I hoped for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me. Memory. A group of black girls sing, skipping in unison on the sidewalk in the heat of the sun. Pure joy shines on their skin. You are so beautiful, they shout in chorus. They already know how beautiful they are. They disappear. The noise and heat of cars fill the air. Memory. In the pews, alabemos al Señor, we're praising God. Let God take away your pain. Let Him take away your worries. Surrounded by women and men dressed, covered in white, head to toe. I look to my mother, her veil reaching her back, skirt grazing the floor, wearing white. She looks so holy. I begin to feel my pain, and tears begin to roll down my face. She looks down to me. Why are you crying? I look to her, and I respond, I am so dark. Why don't I look like you? Hi, Jocelyn. And she just waves me away. You are so beautiful to me. Memory. Let me do your hair. My cousin is looking right at me, and I think, maybe, just this time, should I let her? Today's gonna be the day. I look at my cousin's almost porcelain skin, her hair long, black, and straight. You never let me do your hair. Can't you see? Memory. He glistened like the night, obsidian, piercing eyes, body like a god. I really like you, I say as we lay down. And I like you. He hesitates. Our children would be too dark. Our children will be beautiful, I think. And he went for someone lighter to heal his pain. You're everything I hoped for. Memory. My blackness came up in many conversations. The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. Yes, but you are not black, my dear. I looked at our skin, similar in complexion, my hair curled, theirs in braids down their back. If I am not black, then what am I? You're not black, you're Puerto Rican. You're not black is different. You speak Spanish, it's not the same. ¿Hablas español? Mírala, ella habla español, pero no parece boricua. You sounded Latina on the phone. But I am though. Y soy dominicana también. Y también boricua. Sí. Ah, that's why your Spanish sounds funny. Memory. We were walking in the sun all day. I felt hot, my skin like charred, dry cinnamon. Ugh, Jocelyn, you're black. The click of her tongue echoed. I looked at her skin, barely changed since the start of our walk. No te metes en el sol. Don't stay in the sun or you'll get too dark. I looked at her. I am black. I claimed it as I started walking up the sidewalk, and I didn't stop. I never talked to her again. You're everything I need. Memory. Tears roll down my face as I sing to myself in the mirror. I'm trying to find the beauty. I lost myself too many times. I am trying to see me. I touch my piel como canela, my hair puffy like clouds. Hablando mi español como yo lo hablo, ¿entiendes? I am beautiful, can't you see? I am everything, everything my ancestors ever hoped for. I am everything I will ever need. We are all we need. We are all beautiful, can't you see?
Oh, I love that. Oh my goodness.
And so there were 10 of these stories. They were really, as you can see, they were really good. They were really powerful. They talking about, from different.
I saw my grandchildren as she spoke. I saw my grandchildren. Oh, I said, let them sit and see her. And hear her. Oh my goodness. Trapped in what they look like. Trapped in what people say they should look like.
Right.
Just it's a trap, and of course I'm not the grandmother that they listen to. They listen, oh, we need some, go away. You don't know what you're talking about. But they're trapped. Well, they'll find their way out. We hope. But that was very good.
Yeah, so I encourage people, watch the whole thing. It's available at on accesstv.org, and of course on our Facebook channel, our Facebook page, and stuff like that. But it was really good. That was last Saturday.
Oh, I wish I had known that.
Last Saturday. No, wait. Last Saturday. It was in Saturday morning's paper. Yeah, Saturday morning paper. Yeah, it was Saturday, not Sunday. Saturday. Yeah.
Well, I applaud her. I really do. That makes me feel very proud.
It was good.
Yeah.
Good event. Yeah. So, any plans for the weekend?
No, I'm going to a retirement party tomorrow. I'm working. The 29th, I'm going back to work on a regular basis.
Summer's over.
And so I'm back again doing. I said, "Oh gosh, I'm back." I think maybe I was thinking maybe I would consider myself retired. And someone I know very well said, "And do what? You're gonna sit still? You better go to work." So I, thought about that. I said, "Yeah, I'm going to work. What am I gonna do here? Besides work. I'm gonna work anyway, right?
Right.
I'm gonna work anyway, no matter what. So I will go back to work to get a rest every once in a while. Sometimes work is a rest, right?
You get more rest at work than at home.
Yes, that's right.
That's funny. Speaking of retirement, I got in the mail my Social Security. You get the little Social Security 4-page statement thing that comes out. And so, I could retire. I'm at 62.
Right, and that's what I did. I said,
I could retire, and it just lays out how much money you will get a month until you cease to breathe.
Yeah.
And then if you wait till 68, I think it's 68 or 67, and they have it right down to the month.
You know what I said? I said, I'm going to take it at 62, and you're never going to catch up with me. Because I'm going to always have made more money than you. You wait. I don't care. I said, I'm doing my thing right now. So, actually, I took it and I kept on working, so they kept penalizing me. But then they said, now, if you don't take it till this month, then we're going to have to give you all kinds of things. They took the money from me because I always worked. I did it, and I still worked, and I went on part-time, and I still worked over, and so they would take it for me, and I would call them up and scream and say, I gotta pay my rent, you better give me some money. So they were not mean. I would get something, and they'd take a little of this and a little of that until I turned 65, because then when I turned 65, I could do what I want.
So can you take your now? There's a cap on how much you can earn.
Yeah, they'll tell you.
Once you
Yeah, you just make a little and do this and that. If you're really working full time and you're making a lot of money, then it probably wouldn't do you too much good.
Right, may as well just wait.
Right, but if you're tired like I was, when I was tired, I said, well, I'm going to take it. And so I signed up for it, and then I didn't take it. And they said, okay, when you're ready for it, come back and we'll start it. So I worked full time. I took a work full time. They said, well, if you're going to work full time, you make this, you'll start getting it in July, and you can just collect until the end of the year, and there'll be no penalty. But I couldn't wait till July. I really got tired. I think I was 62, yeah. Working full time, running the bookstore, doing all kinds of things, having heart palpitations and stuff. So I did take it, but I really worked too much to in those 3 years till I was 65. I really didn't stop, so I was always getting penalized for this, that, and the other, Then I owed them money, and then I did this, and then I did that. But after you reach that certain age, and is it 66 that you can make as much as you want? 66 or something like that, because it was 65, I think, when they started that you could do what you wanted to do as far as making money. Because it made no difference. I didn't make any more money. I didn't make any more money than I always made, but it has a nice ring to it. You can make as much money as you want. But I relaxed. It was something that I could relax and do. And you have a choice of paying Social Security, taking out of your check or not, and I never did. I never had it taken out. I said I could spend as well as you could spend but I never got penalized because my work and the money coming in went back, so I was safe. Once in a while I had to pay, but not too much. So you got to think it out. Think better than I thought, because I'm really a scattered person. I didn't think it out too well. I just did it. But if you think it out, I really am impressed with people who can think things out. I said, isn't that amazing? Look at how they can do that. Set this aside, plan this, do that, and it's. I don't do that. I just do it. And that's sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
So you get into trouble, but I love people who I'm not one of them, but I just love people who can plan, who do this, and I watch my employer. Boy, she plans everything. She's got her calendar. I tried to write the calendar day by day and schedule things. I tried to do that. Didn't work. Tried to do. Oh gosh. I tried to. And my doctor wants me to put down everything I eat. Okay. Gave me this old diet thing, and I said, all right, I'm gonna do this, and I did it for a couple of. I said, I can't do this stuff. I don't want to do it. So but I'm trying again next week to do it again. But it is not an easy task for a scattered person. For instance, mothers have made meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for centuries, forever. I realized that I have never made breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Do you know how hard that is? You make breakfast and you get that all cleaned. Then you have to make lunch. You just finished breakfast. And I say, what are you doing? You just ate. So then you have to make lunch. And then when you make lunch, you have to have a plan for dinner. So you start dinner. And then after you plan to make the dinner and you make the dinner and everybody's eating, it's night. It's almost time to go to bed. I said, I never did this in my life. What did I do? How did my children grow up? Because this is hard. That's hard. And then you got to clean the house. You got to tend to the people. I said, I have never, ever done this. What did I do? I don't know what I did because I surely never did this. I made dinner. My sons used to say, Ma, we could have starved to death. You didn't cook. I said, I did cook. I cooked Thanksgiving meals. I made your supper at night. And they remember these times where, Ma, you didn't do that. I said, yes, I did. I did it every night. I think I did it every night. I remember I did this every night. And they said, Ma, yeah, we could have starved. And I don't remember that. I remember cooking and doing all this. But now that I see breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I said, maybe they were right. Maybe I did try to starve them to death.
Well, I don't think you were trying to starve them to death.
No, I didn't try to starve them to death, but, they didn't starve to death. They were healthy kids, so they must have ate something. But I'm just saying, think of those people who have all that planned out and their day goes smoothly. But I can't see just making 3 meals a day. That's morning till night.
You got your breakfast and then lunch, dinner. But there are people who are extremely detailed. They plan out everything. My wife is a detailed person. I tend to get an idea and just execute.
That's me.
Just do it. And it's just but she's real detailed. They plan everything. The only thing I plan is what time. Well, it's not true. I like to leave at a particular time, but there's a certain time to leave. So it's like I'll plan, but I won't leave until I feel right. Okay, we're leaving now. Boom. But I'm more planned to get somewhere at a particular time. But that's about the extent of my planning.
Trying to get there. You get to work on time.
Yes.
You always get to work on time, and you get the kids ready to be to school on time, and they had some breakfast and that kind of thing. But there's a whole lot more to an organized day that you could get probably a lot more in and less frustrated if you could do that. But when I try to do it, my mind will shut down.
Bring your mic over.
My mind will shut down. What is this I gotta do? I gotta do this thing next, this thing next, instead of jumping to, no, I'm gonna do this. But I'm finding that this step-by-step thing is not too bad. I don't know if I could ever, at this age, conquer it, because I have never conquered it. But I could see where, at times, the people I know and relatives I know would get frustrated with me, but I couldn't see it then.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see their, well, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to go over there and do that. But Cleo, what are you doing? You can't go over there and do that. I said, yes, I can. Watch me. And so you go over there, and it works.
Right.
That's the thing. It works. Oh, the doctor said to me, you can't buy a house. Oh, my God, why did he say that to me? I wasn't even thinking about buying a house. So the next day I go out, and I call up some realtors. I had no intention whatsoever to buy a house. But these world realtors, this is in the late 60s. Early 70s. They would take me around from house to house, and they'd show me this house and all of that. So I saw one I liked, and so I said, okay. I never planned anything. Okay. So I gave them $1,000 that I had borrowed from the credit union because I wanted to get some new furniture or something. So I gave them $1,000. And then I went to and then they said, okay. And then the bank said, no, you can't have it. I didn't care. So I said, all right. So give me back my $1,000. So they gave me back my $1,000. And I saw a couch I liked. I said, oh, I'm going to get that couch for my apartment. So I bought the couch. Mm-hmm. And then the bank calls and says, all right, we'll give you the house. I don't know why they said that. So they called me up, and I said, "Oh, I spent that money. What am I gonna do?" But you got to pay the money back. Mm-hmm. I said, "All right, I got to pay the money back." And I already had some money in the credit union, so I was telling this lady at work. I said, "Why I got to pay the money back?" She says, "Go to the credit union, put the money back. Then the day of the closing, go get the money." So that's what I did. About 20 minutes, an hour before I went and got the money, and I had a closing, and I owned a house. I had nothing. I didn't know anything about a house. So you get the house, and and things go like that. Just you get things, and you just get them because you want them to say, well, I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna start a business. The man said, don't start a business, go to school. I said, go to school? No, I want to start a business. Did you think I knew anything about a business? I knew nothing. Mm-hmm. And I didn't still to this day don't have patience to run a business. But so I started a business. If I had the 1, 2, 3 do this, I'd have a successful business today. He says, nobody's doing that, so it's probably not going to work. I said, oh, really? I said, I'm going to do this. And I did it. And it did. It was very good. It was very good. But nobody told me that it wouldn't be a success right away. Mm-hmm. That when you go into things, it's either a success or a failure. Mm-hmm. They didn't tell me you had to work at it. It had to work up, and you had to go through all that stuff. So I ended that, and that's the one thing I'm really, really sorry for. But that's the way some people operate. Mm-hmm. And why you operate that way?
Well, there are individuals who like intuitively know a thing, and you do what you do. There's other people who have to. Now the detailed people will tell you, you can't do stuff a certain way. They can't do stuff
a certain way.
Any other way but detailed. If they don't detail it out, they can't get it done. So they had to plan and detail and double check the plan. And okay, when we get there, we're going to spend over here, and then we're going to check in at this time, and then we're going to go over here, and then we're going to carve out some time for dinner, and then we're going to go do that. And they plan out every minute. But if they don't do that, they can't. They can't. So I think. We have the different types of human beings and people that makes a full picture for life of what we ultimately need. And Nah.
You know,
the objective. I see the objective and then move toward it. Sometimes you need to do a little planning or this, that, and the third because it's just a part of getting there. But details, and that's so I'm always chided for not paying attention to the details. You know, so
I really do try to sit down and pay attention to details, and I really try. I remember I had no money. The business was going under. In a couple of months, the business was going under, and I had no money, and I had to pay my mortgage. And when I went to bed that night, the only thing that kept going through my head was, get up in the morning, get dressed, and go to the bank and get the money.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I can't go to the bank and get it. I don't have any money in the bank. What are they going to listen to me? Over and over and over and over again all night long. So I said, oh, well. So I got up, got dressed, and I went to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And I did have some money coming to me because I took a business loan out, but that didn't come through yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to West Hartford, and I went to the bank, and I said, I need a loan for such and such a money, and I have a loan coming to me, but I don't have any money right now, and blah, blah, blah. They quickly said no, and I left. So in my mind, they said, go to the bank, the same bank in Bloomfield, and get the money. I walk into the bank in Bloomfield. I don't have nothing. I walk into it and I say, well,
same branch, same bank, but different branch.
Right. So I go to the next, and I said, I have this loan coming through. I don't have any money right now, but I need some money right now. And how much he asked me how much, and I told him. And he just gave me the money. He just gave me the money. And so he said, now when you get your loan, you come and pay it back. So when I got the loan, when the loan came through, it was Headco. The only time I ever would never do that again. Mm-hmm. But I went to the bank and I gave them their money, and that was it. But that didn't. I mean, who would think of that? It just came in a dream. It just kept saying it over and see. I knew something was up when it kept saying it over and over and over till I got up and did it. It would have said it over. It would have said it till I did it. Mm-hmm. So I just did that. Well, people don't do business like that, and you can't run a business like that. It's impossible. I don't think.
I don't think that's probably in the pages of good business.
No, it's absolutely
good
not.
Financial management section of the business manual.
If I hadn't gotten so nervous and so frustrated and so scared, I was more scared than I'd ever been in my life, that I probably would have still had dreams and still had, I still would have went on and on because that's just the way it went back then. And that's why my family got probably so frustrated. They were really, I couldn't understand it. When you're going through that, you don't understand what's the matter with her. Why are they getting so upset? Why are they, why they?
Well, we rarely see ourselves as others see us.
Right.
We're not that objective to be able to see ourselves the way others see us. It is interesting.
Yeah.
Particularly if you are strong-willed or stubborn, But if you're strong-willed, it's very hard for folk to reach you, to get you to see a different point of view or reason, so that you may not keep going down the railroad tracks.
I thought I was. That's absolutely true. I thought I was. They always told. I thought I was shy. I thought I was very, very shy and kind of withdrawn. And, you know, they said, oh, Cleo, you're cute. So that's what I thought I was. I thought I was like that, but my family didn't see that. My family thought they say, oh, no, Cleo, they don't know you. And I couldn't understand what they were talking about because I was always, you know, people pleaser kind of type. And except when I wanted something and when I went after something. But I didn't see it. I did. I just thought I would. But they saw it. And now, you know, you think back. When you get old, you can say, oh, my goodness. How did they ever put up with that? You know, you can see a little more about who you are. And you kind of look back and say, oh, my goodness. And then you see it in your children and you say, oh, my goodness.
Oh, now there you go. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That's me. And I can't handle that. You can't handle it because it's you. And they couldn't handle you. You're going to handle somebody else. You know, you say, oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. And I say that I say that all the time. Oh, my goodness.
Well, you know, I often wonder, you know, if only, of course, wisdom comes with the passage of time.
Yes.
You know, you hear people say, well, you know, wisdom comes with age. So younger people will think, well, that's typical of someone older to say that because, you know, young people have wisdom. But wisdom comes with the passage of time. Like building money in a bank account, you know, it takes time, and so, but it would be great if you could have the wisdom in your older years, when you're younger, when you can really, 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 really use all that wisdom.
Yes.
But I guess the only way to get it is to live it, and or be around other people who are wise. And then listen to them. But it's very hard to tell some young people because they don't. And so you let them learn on their own because they're not going to listen to you. So, you know, or anyone else for that matter.
No, yes, I'm very.
So watch and make sure they don't electrocute themselves.
I'm very grateful that I survived my youth. I am so very grateful because so many things could have happened, could happen to me. But so many good things could have happened to me. But our society does not allow you to be good at things unless you got a piece of paper that says you're good at it. They don't accept a lot of times. They don't accept the fact that you're good at something, that you excel in something. Because that's what you do. You excel at something. They don't. It's not. I can remember so many times getting positions and doing them and teaching and then someone saying, "Oh no, she can't go any further. She doesn't have a degree." And I'm saying,
but I can do the work.
But I'm doing this. I'm running the show. You know, and so you still run the show. They let you run the show, but they hire somebody with a PhD or someone with degrees, and they get more than the boss because the boss doesn't have a degree. Of course, I didn't know that at the time, but it's really amazing that they say no, you can't do it because you don't have this or you don't have that. You just don't. You know, and you see people doing it all the time.
Well, that's unfortunate, and it happens all the time, as you say.
All the time. Yes,
it's like, you know, well, you can do the work in that room, but you're going to need a key to get in the room, and we're not going to give you a key.
No.
And so, you know, you don't. So what do I have to do to qualify to get the key? You know, you're qualifying for just a door opener. Because the work that needs to be done is done because it's something that's executed based on best practices, policies, and procedures. I don't care if you're smart or dumb. If you can execute the work, then you can get it done. So a lot of times these things are put in place to prevent you from going forward, or to make a favorable environment for someone else to succeed or to get ahead. So we'll create an environment where you can have seniority or superiority over everyone else. So we put you in a superior position, and everyone else is subordinate to you. And because you're their manager, you have a degree. Now, that's not to say that degrees aren't necessary, but I mean,
yes.
if you're not, building, trying to split atoms or, carve open someone's brain,
most things are doable.
Most
things are doable.
Most things that we do are doable.
And you could teach yourself. You got a C average. A C average person could do about anything they want to do. So you could teach yourself to do it. You don't always have to go to school to learn something.
No, and you know what else? Most people are just that, average.
That's right. Most people.
That's why it is a C. Most people are average.
Right.
And most things can be done by average people.
Oh, and you hear these. I had a relative who said, "Oh no, my child is not a C, not a C average. Her child was above average, and she went to every psychologist she could find until one said your child is above." And the child succeeded. I mean, the child succeeded. She has a wonderful occupation and job, and she could buy what she wants, and it's just wonderful. But she could have done that without all of that, taking just on and on and on and on and on until the one person said she is above average. Mm-hmm. So I just don't, like my brother told me, he said he had a professor who never went to college. And I'm sure there are people who could be professors who don't go to college.
Oh, no, for sure that there's a whole lot of folk who are very good, very knowledgeable, and all they have is a piece of paper, and the paper is nothing more than a piece of paper because it's not a real degree. But they have got full mastery of the subject. They can defend their positions. They understand everything. So a piece of paper is just a piece of paper. And don't get me wrong. There's value in, I'm not saying like there isn't value in knowing things. But in today's world, on the planet right now, almost anyone can access information. Once upon a time, the only place you could keep the information was either in your head, or you had access to very rare books that had the knowledge. You'd have to know where the books were. You'd have to get access to the books. You'd have to be able to plow through all the information to arrive at an answer that can ultimately be applied by somebody, if not you, one of the staff that actually goes out and does the work. But now anyone can get information.
That's right.
All you really need is access to the information. So you may not have ever done anything, like say in your car, but you could go online and see how to fix
almost anything.
How to change oil, how to change the fan belt, how to change the fan, how to remove the cylinders and put new ones on. Well, I don't know nothing about a torque wrench. Well, you can look that up and find out how a torque wrench works and why you need the torque wrench. So anyone can find out information because you have access to it. And so I think part of wisdom in the passage of time is you learn these things. And you begin to realize a lot of these things. When you're younger, you just don't know. You don't know. But I tell you, there's a whole lot of young people now can do all kinds of things because they have, we live in the age of information.
That's right.
And that's all you really needed. Information.
Information. And be able to apply the information.
Right.
That's all you need. Remember the information. Apply the information.
Right.
And if you don't remember it, click on it and say, what's this? Oh, yeah. This is such and such. I'll tell you right away.
The greatest example of what I'm talking about is something that most people do every day and may not even realize it. And that is, you have no idea where you're going. But now that you got a phone, you can get there. You say the address, hit the start button, and off you go. You don't know where you're going.
My brother-in-law couldn't find this person, and he's looking all over. He says, I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to do this. He keeps calling my husband saying, who is this person? And then finally he calls me. He says, Cleo, I have to find this person. I said, Google him. Google him and he'll tell you what his telephone number is and his address. Just Google him. Just Google him. So he says, could you Google him? So I Google the name. I find out the address, the telephone number, his political affiliation.
Last time he voted.
His age. His age. That's how I knew it was him, because he's the same age as me. Mm-hmm. So that's how I knew this was the person that I was looking for. And so I texted to my brother-in-law. Oh, he was so happy. He was so, for weeks. He's been going through this for weeks and weeks, and never thought of just Googling it. That's how I found several people. Just Google them.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we have a lot of information, right? Carrying it around. Right? I don't know how to use it efficiently enough. I wish I knew more. Wishing won't get me there. I know I got to do something about it.
That's the beginning of wisdom.
But I am planning to. They're having a course at the senior center that I'm going to be taking. I'm going to try to get into. That'll give me a little more know-how, because I get annoyed with you have to do this now. You're doing something and this little thing pops up and interrupts you. You have to do this now. This is
on your computer or on your phone?
Both.
Okay, the pop-ups.
I don't really like them, but they're helpful.
Mm-hmm.
They are helpful sometimes. So I'm gonna try to learn more about that, so I won't get so annoyed. I have an old computer that's saying, you got to fix this. You do it now. You push this button and
those can be deep rabbit holes of chaos. Because sometimes they'll pop up and they're not friendly, and you click on them, and next thing you know, you've launched a series of events.
I did that one time. I got somebody sound like he was in the Orient someplace, and I did everything they said, and they kept calling me, and then it was just a scam. It was just
you be
whatever.
very, very careful.
Yeah.
You have to be extremely careful from these scams. I know people have gotten caught up in all kinds of just nightmares of incidents.
I like paper and pencil. I still do a lot of pencil and paper.
Pencil and paper. There's nothing like writing something down. In fact, you know what I've been doing over the last couple of months? I have this thing. It's just a glorified Etch-a-Sketch.
It's a what?
A glorified Etch-a-Sketch. You can write on it, and then you hit the button here, and it disappears. And so you could take like little notes. So I used it because I used to write down little notes as I'm talking, and so I could keep up with something someone may say something, so I'll write it down so when they're done I can go back to it. But I've been practicing my cursive.
Practicing your cursive? Haven't you been doing cursive?
Well, I've been printing for forever.
Really?
Yeah. So so I'll write I started off the alphabet A B C D E F G. With the. Did I even remember them? The Z is a because you gotta go right. And I'm thinking to myself, kids today don't write. That's when I started doing this. I was thinking, the young people don't write cursive.
I think that was the biggest mistake they ever made.
And
yet they have to, if they're going to do a signature, they have to
sign their name.
You have to do it cursively, right?
Right.
So.
So, I've been practicing that. I forgot why I mentioned that, but
because you don't want to totally forget when all of a sudden they say, "All right, everybody has to write cursive," and haven't re-taught anybody to write cursive, because that day is coming. That day is coming. It's just like
something else to keep you out.
Yep.
One of our viewers says here, take your Social Security. They'll be trying to fool you when they say, wait, you get more money. I know some folks ain't lived long enough, didn't live long enough to get the money.
Absolutely.
I know guys, I remember when I was working at Pratt Whitney, 10 months.
Gone,
room temperature. 10 months. 10 months. Worked your whole life. Ready to retire. 10 months.
See, they're praying that you die before you reach the age of 68 or 66 or whatever they say the full amount is.
Yeah. One of Katz, Bill Catman Katz. He said he wrote a song. It's on our network. I should pull it up and play it one day. I'll cue it up so we could play it in one of the programs. Don't get sick before you die. Don't get sick before you die. It's about the insurance companies and doctors. If you get sick before you die, it's horrible.
It is horrible.
It's horrible.
I'm beginning to experience that with Willie, with my husband. I'm beginning to experience how horrible it could be.
Yeah, let me see if I can try and find that. She says you end up with she says, yep, and try this and getting disability, and try getting disability. Yeah, there's all kinds of things. But then I'm intrigued by this notion of it never occurred to me until this thing came in the mail like last week. It never occurred to me to collect Social Security. Never. It was not. It's not even on my mind. I know I have friends of mine who talk in terms of, well, my Social Security check comes at. But, it's like, that's other people. Mm-hmm. It's not me, it's other people. And so I don't even think of it. It's like my dad gets Social Security. And so in my mind, he's old.
Oh, not you though.
Oh, no. He's my dad, so I can't be old. In my mind, I'm still like, it's weird with your parents. Because in my mind, I'm still like 15. And he's my dad because he's always, you think of him, I guess.
But you always think of yourself as a kid.
As a kid in your parents' presence.
Right. In your parents' presence.
And you just default to.
Yeah.
Kid mode, even though you're not a kid, and you can say no to your parents or leave and go home, but you're still
their kid,
and they don't, and in their mind you're always thinking, like I see my daughter's married, and my oldest daughter's married. In my mind, she looks like this. You know, this is what she looks like to me. This is my oldest daughter, Jessica. And that's her up on that wall. She looks the same. She's a little bit older here. She's in kindergarten here. But in my mind, that's how I see her. Even now that she's grown.
Well, that's how I see my children. And that's unfortunate at times to see them that way.
Right, because then you don't let them grow up.
You gotta see, and believe me, well, sometimes they'll manipulate that. Because you see the little boy, you see your little boy or your little girl, you know, you say, oh my gosh. But all of life is a learning process, and you never stop learning. Don't ever think you're going to stop learning. Because as such, you know, it's something new all the time. Even when you get older, something new all the time.
Absolutely. Let me see if I can find that song. No, it's not on this. It's not on this disc or drive. Let's try this drive. No, I know I have it on something in here. Don't get sick before you die. That's a great song. E, F, G, D, L.
And it's good not to own a lot of stuff.
It's good not to own a lot of stuff?
When you get sick.
Oh, goodness.
Because they're going to say, I need this, and you think your insurance company's going to pay it. I need this long thing. And then they're going to say, what you got? You got bonds? You got a house? You got this? You got that? All right.
Well, take everything you have.
Everything. But if you don't have anything, they're going to take care of you. You know, you don't have to pay anything back. Oh, gosh.
Make you totally dependent.
Oh, yes. I fight that. My son doesn't know why I fight so hard. I said, don't. That's yours. Don't give it away. Don't give it away if you don't have to.
Oh, here's one of Bill Catt's songs, but this is not it. I'm gonna find that song. It's a great song. Where would this be?
Don't get sick before you die.
Don't get sick before you die. It's a great song. I know where to go to find this. Let me try this here. I'm gonna find this. Because the song is so great. It's just great.
You found it?
Not yet. I know where to go to get it though. Bill Catman. Cats. Let's try that because it's always all right, let's try this.
Well, while we wait.
Here we are.
Oh, you got it?
I got him. Here he is.
Okay, Stan found the song.
We found Bill. Now we got his YouTube channel. So we'll click on here. And let's see if we can find Don't Get Sick Before You Die. Nope, no. This is not it.
You got a search box there?
Okay, I know the video because I shot it, but I don't see it. Oh, here it is. No, that's interesting. It's not on here. He's got one about Dunkin' Donuts Stadium, clean water.
He writes social
He writes
songs.
social songs. Here's his Dunkin' Donuts Stadium song. We'll play that while I look for the other one. Yeah, he writes protests.
Is he local?
He very local.
Dunkin' Donuts Stadium. My advice, just don't go in. You can watch baseball in local parks, Keeney, Hope, and Goodwin. But if you leave home to watch the goats, don't forget Iamodium. Dunkin' Donuts Stadium. My advice, just don't go in. The toilets may not be flushable. They may not even spin. They may not all be flushable. Then again, not even spin. Centerplan hasn't thought this out, how all the shit would fly. The toilets now are flushable, but it still makes you cry. Pedro thought he had a good idea one absent-minded day. He thought to spend some city cash Harvard could never repay. Millions of tax dollars down the hole for 25 more years. And Councilwoman Jennings went along for the ride one absent-minded day. Now everyone is suing and swinging their bats. Centerplan wants $90 million in cash. Solomon thinks the move was great. Muni bonds given out like chocolate cake. If you bought a pass to see the Hartford Goats, be sure to put your raincoat on. If you bought a pass to see the Hartford Goats, be sure to put your raincoat on. The grandstand roof may not be built, don't know. Hartford has taken note. One more doozy for the ex-mayor with his council boys in tow. Now everyone is suing and swinging their bats. Centerplan wants $90 million in cash. Hartford is suing for the right to toss. Arch Insurance is after their untold loss. So Dunkin' Donuts Stadium, my advice, just don't go in. You can watch baseball in local parks, Keeney, Hope, and Goodwin. But if you leave home with your kids, don't forget Iamodium. Dunkin' Donuts Stadium, my advice, just don't go through. And a cup of my day-old coffee's way better than fresh Dunkin' Donuts brew. Yes, indeed it is.
Bill Katz.
He's a Hartfordite.
He's a Hartfordite. Oh yeah. He lives right here in Hartford. He lives over by your sister.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yep. He does all kinds of songs like that. The protest songs. This song here was a pretty good song though. This song here was deep. This is another protest song. Speaking of, getting old.
Did you find the song you wanted?
No.
It's not there. Huh?
It's not there. I'm gonna give it one more shot. I think I might know where it is.
All right.
I'll give it one more shot. Listen to this one while I'm looking. This one's about the old folks' home.
Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, is that
Oh, you know what? Let's cue this back up. I brought up the wrong sound. Here we go.
The old folks were killed off in the warehouse where they lay. Nursing homes had emptied to be filled another day. They were led in and wheeled in and tricked to believe a new life awaited them to everyone's relief. But no one got to say goodbye with those machines around their heads. Medicare paid all their bills. There's money in dealing with the dead. Don't forget to say a prayer. Say it for the price they paid. Placed in harm's way, they paid a terrible price today. The old folks were killed off in the warehouse where they lay. Nursing homes had emptied to be filled another day.
Yeah, that's a protest song. His father passed away in that nursing home, if I'm not mistaken, and so he is he does all kinds of protest songs, folk songs from the days of telling stories. This is another form of
telling stories,
of storytelling, and yeah, I wish I could find his song. That's my favorite of all his songs is the
Don't get sick before
Don't
you
get
die.
sick before you die. And I don't know why I don't have that. And I just can't find it anywhere. Don't get sick.
So you go out and tape him when he's doing his song?
Some of his songs I have done videos for. Not all of them. But some of them. He's got one called Mayor Eddie Perez. He's done a couple of songs on Donald Trump. He's very, as you can see,
you know that.
Very outspoken. I know a lot of outspoken people.
Did you know Mrs. Giles was in the hospital?
I did not know that. No, wait. You told me last week.
Well, yeah. Now
but you weren't sure about whether or not she was actually there. But she is in?
She's at St. Mary's.
Oh, my.
Hopefully she won't be there long.
Mm-hmm. All right, I've lost control of one of my computers here. And it's interesting. It's always something. It's always something. I don't know what's going on with this one. This is
Are we still on the air here?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the way you were talking, you just kind of.
Oh no! I was trying to find one last chance.
Oh, you still looking for?
For don't get sick before you die, but find the video before you go off the air, before you run out of time.
Is that what someone said?
No. That's me talking to myself. No. But yeah, we got the talent here in Harvard is off the chain. I have the annals of Hartford.
That's what
talent.
I love to find, like Miss Harris on Sterling Street, and but there's probably a lot of people doing a lot of things that we don't know about.
Oh my goodness!
I wish I knew more, because I want to see them all.
There's so much going on in so many communities. A lot of times people say that there's nothing going on in Hartford, but that's not true. There's all kinds of things going on in Hartford. You just don't know about them. And because Hartford is a small town, it's made up of many, many, many different communities. And the ethnic diversity of Hartford is quite rich. There's like 76 different languages spoken in this city. And people think it's like English and Spanish, but no, there are, I think it's 76 different languages spoken in the city. So you have a Asian community. I mean,
gosh, I need to go out and find these people. Yeah.
And so
see what's happening.
There are things going on in these communities: celebrations, concerts, parties, events. And because you're not part of that community, obviously, you don't get an invite. So you don't know. So people generally are invited to the things that their friends invite them to. Right. But the community events, they're happening all over the place. There's not enough time to go to them all.
Gosh. Well, I'm going to find some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to seeing Sterling Street. That was very interesting.
Yeah. That's a good.
I'm always saying, let's educate our own, and there's people out there doing things, and we need to know about.
Absolutely. Well, let's see. As soon as I get this back up online here, there we go. I think this will do it now. Yeah. All right. I don't have control of one of my computers. Froze up on me. These things happen though. But we'll make it. All right, Miss Cleo. So your plans for the weekend? Your weekend's about to start.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm going to a retirement party.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow.
This is a work retirement party?
Yes.
Okay.
You know her. her name just slipped out of my head. Oh, she's gonna kill me. Well, she'll come back. She'll come back. So I'm going to a retirement party tomorrow, and I'll probably do some. I do have to work tomorrow to visit my young man. And that's about all. Maybe some other things will come up, and that'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And then, of course, church on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. I've been studying spirituality because last week, when at the African American Alliance, I said this prayer. I have absolutely no idea. I said, what did I say? I don't even know. That must have been like the, I hope, I did not know. And then you came and said, do you have a report? And you were smiling and laughing. I said, oh my God, what did I say? I did. So I said, I am the spiritual and what? Of the African American.
Well, you're the chaplain, but in addition to that, you also have a committee. And
yes, and I said my committee has to do something, so I'm looking up spirituality, and I'm thinking, what should this committee be doing? I have to be doing something as African American Alliance.
Right, because our community, one of our charges at the Alliance, per the bylaws, is to deal with spiritual issues and spiritual matters as they affect the community.
So that's what I have been working on this week, because I didn't, and I'm saying, I should have known what I was saying, but I didn't.
Oh, I thought what you said was fine. Others did too.
So it came to me. It came to me because I usually write my prayer, I usually think about it and write my prayer like I probably did this week. And actually this week what happened was I'm thinking about spirituality and I'm in the bed and I have to jump up and write it. I have to write the prayer. So I wrote the prayer in the middle of the night. And for the African American Alliance, I said, Lord, this is for the African American Alliance. We've got to get our community together spiritually. As a group, we need to come together more, and we need to know that we're strong and fight for the right things. So I got up in the middle of the night and I wrote the prayer. And I just have this one special book that I do that in. And when I don't write a prayer, I just say a prayer. But I really do not like you go to somewhere and you always start with prayer. Say, all right, come on, someone. Who's going to say the prayer? All right, who's going to say the prayer? Oh, I'll say the prayer, Lord. And this off the top. It could be off the top of the blah, 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 blah. Jesus Christ, in the name of the Lord. Amen. All right, ladies, let's open our books to such and such. Well, I think the prayer should mean more than that. And I just think it should mean more than that. I think that as the meeting progresses, that prayer should stay in your mind.
Well,
in a direction that it should be a prayer that should stay in your mind, and not a prayer that let's get this over with prayer.
Oh well, yeah.
I don't want to let's get this over with. I want the prayer to mean something. And so I said, all right, I got that. That's what I'm working on now. Because it's in me now. And last week I said, oh. So I say to Lily, I said, Lily, what'd I say? Oh, no.
He's sitting right there, too.
I don't know what you said. I said, oh, gosh.
Well, we will have, I'll look forward to the prayer tomorrow. and your report too, I guess. So we'll see. But your weekend is all settled and set, right?
Yes, right. It's settled and set. I'm probably going to leave the meeting early because this retirement party starts at 12 o'clock.
Okay. I have a wedding to shoot tomorrow.
And so I want to go there and have some fun.
All right.
So I'm going to have fun, and I hope they play music, and I hope there's not too many speeches.
And pull your mic up.
Oh, and I hope there's not too many speeches. I just hope that we just enjoy the person, and the person enjoys our gathering and things like that.
All right. So Miss Cleo's going to have a good time tomorrow?
Yes. Oh, I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to have a good time. I always have a good time at church. Meetings. Especially when we get together after church and we're all eating snack. And we're all eating snack and talking. I like that. I love that. I miss it when a church doesn't have that after church gathering, because I just love it. The
fellowship.
The fellowship.
The fellowship and the camaraderie.
Yes. I just
fellowship and camaraderie. All right, well, my friends, our fellowship and camaraderie has ended for the week. It's Friday. We'll see you here next Monday. Of course, we'll repeat tomorrow this program, and then, of course, Sunday morning Bible study. But have a fabulous rest of your day and a fabulous weekend, and we'll see you next week starting at 8 in the morning. Jonathan will be here on Monday. Dr. Bowen and Luis Delgado will be here on Wednesday. And then, of course, next Friday, we'll end the week again with myself and Cleo Duke-Wright. So I'll see you next week, Miss Cleo.
Okay, see you next week.
All right, my friends. See you real soon. You all have a blessed rest of your day. Bye-bye.